Okay, so in this video I wanted to try to do something a little different. We're not going to go over any rules or playthroughs or anything. What I wanted to do is to just quickly show you how I make print and play counters. I've made a few sets. I'm pretty happy with the way they came out, and I think I found a way that's just pretty simple and intuitive, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's come up with this method, but I just wanted to do a quick video and show you how I make them. And I guess I'll start with the materials. The first thing you're going to need, obviously, is a set of counters, and I printed these out on Board Game Geek, and I want to give credit here. These were designed by Tom Kranicki, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and they are a brigade regiment level conversion for Napoleon at Waterloo, which is a game that will be coming up in my series of games that we're going to play here pretty soon. So I wanted to make these set of counters. The main thing I want to say about printing out the counters is that you probably want to do this on a kind of a thicker cardstock. This is, I'm not sure the exact weight of the paper, I think it's about 40 pounds, about the thickness of an index card. That's what you're looking for. And the other thing is, I have found that I get a much better quality counter when I print them out on a color laser printer. There's something in the laser printing process where it uses heat to seal the toner, and it gives you a nice sheen to the counters that look a little more professional than what you get from an inkjet counter. An inkjet will have more of a flat tone, and so that's the first thing you need is just some counters to print, and these are the ones we're going to use. The second thing is the backing material, and this is what I'm going to use. It's a 4-ply Bristol vellum that I found at Michael's, but I'm sure you can pick this up at any art store wherever you're at. And when I make counters, I've tried different kinds of cardboard, and this is one that I've kind of deduced is where I like. It's a good compromise between being thick and still being able to cut with scissors. And that is, yes, I use scissors when I cut out my counters. I found that when I use the straight edge razor blade, that I tend to, when I'm cutting, it'll kind of drift off and give me rougher edges. I find I have more control using scissors, so I pick out a nice sharp titanium just craft scissor that'll stay sharp, you know, as you cut. And then the other thing that you're going to need is adhesive spray. I prefer the 3M90. It's a high strength adhesive. It's a little higher. They make a 70. I'm not sure if they make anything below 70, but I know that the one you'll see more often is the 70. You want the 90 stuff. It's the high strength, and it will definitely you know, hold for a long time, and it has just a little bit stronger bond. So and that's about all you need, other than I use a plastic disposable trash bag as, you know, when I'm spraying the adhesive, just to keep the spray off the counter. And that covers the material, so let's go ahead. I'm going to cut out a smaller piece of this and we'll get started. Okay, so I have cut out a piece of cardboard here, just slightly bigger than the counter sheet. And you want to do that. I'll explain why in a minute. So we're basically ready to go ahead and spray the adhesive on. Now what we're going to do here, I'm going to tell you why we're going to spray the adhesive on the cardboard, not the back of the counter sheet. And the reason for that is that these spray adhesives use an acetone base. So the adhesive is kind of suspended in acetone, and you'll smell the acetone when you spray it. And the acetone can actually soak through the thinner paper if you spray it directly on the back of that. So I found I have a little better results when I spray it onto the cardboard. And so let's go ahead and lay out our plastic trash bag, and then we will get these glued on. So now we're ready to spray. So you just kind of lay out your plastic or whatever barrier you're using to protect your counter, or if you're doing this in your garage, maybe you don't need one. And we got our cardboard down, so now we're just going to go ahead and give it a nice healthy coat of spray adhesive. You don't want to be too sparing with this stuff. Make sure you have a nice even coat because these counters are small and you don't want to have one be over a area where you didn't get a lot of glue or it'll come apart. So just spray it all the way out to the edges. And now you're going to just let it sit for not a very long time, just maybe less than a minute, but just a few seconds to let the little bit of that acetone evaporate so that we don't soak through the counters. So that's basically long enough. It's just like 10 or 15 seconds is all you need. So then you're going to go ahead and place your counters over your sheet and press down. Now this is the reason why you want to leave a little bit of an edge around the counters, and the reason is because as you're pressing down you're going to pick up glue, and like it's pressing down the edges. If we had cut these all the way to the edge, your possibility of bringing some glue onto the surface of the counter is increased. So I just found I leave a little bit of a 1/2 inch edge there, and you're pretty good. This is also the reason why I recommend using a thicker cardstock. Some people print their counters on paper, and I think with the cardstock you have much less chance of getting any wrinkles. So the cardstock won't wrinkle on you, so you just get a nice flat, even surface to just press down and get a nice, there we go. So that's it, that's basically the gluing part. We're going to set this aside to dry for just 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll cut them out and see what we look like. And once your glue is dry, and you can check over here on the side if it's dry to the touch, go ahead and start cutting out your pieces. There's not a whole lot to say about that. It's the kind of the way I do it is I cut them out in these little pairings like this, and then I cut them off this way so that you end up with something like that, and then just split the pair. One thing I did do was I went out and got one of these little corner cutters from Dave King off of eBay. And even though these obviously won't have the die cut little burrs on them from the die cutting process, I still like to trim up the corners just because I like the way they look. So I'll go ahead and zoom in here on that, and we'll get some of these corners cut, and then we'll show you the finished product. So get that lined up. Go ahead and trim off one of these like that. Okay. Okay, so then once you get the corner cut, you can kind of see what the final product looks like here. Go ahead and zoom in on that for you. And there you have homemade counters, and that's kind of the method that I've come up with so far. It works for me. I'm always looking for better methods, so if I come up with anything that I like better than this method, then I will make another video. But for now, that's going to do it, and we'll talk to you next time.